Shalom, shalom, shalom. Giving all the praise, honor, and infinite glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the beloved apostles and elders at Great Millstone who rule well and who I learn from daily. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect, scattered across the four corners of the earth, you Israelite foreigners like unto a speckled bird. Shalom to you, sincere Akim that's on the highways and byways, doing lessons and videos, week in and week out, in truth and sincerity. Shalom to you, sincere Akwath, who's listening in silence, as the scriptures command you to do so. This is your brother Isaiah Allah, back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. Lord willing, I pray this is edifying to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. You are the biblical Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. The name of your God, your power, his name is YAHAWAH. Yah meaning he, Hawa meaning is he exists, BAHASHAM coming in the name, and who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His true name in the Hebrew is YAHAWASHI. Yah meaning he, Hawashai meaning savior or deliverer. All praises, all honor, and all infinite glory. I'm going to play this clip, and then we're going to go into the lesson to break it down. But this shows here that the so-called Negro, which would be predominantly from the tribe of Judah, all right, and the Hebrew is YAHAWAH, all right, the so-called black man can make any color on the planet Earth, bro. All right, and this video right here shows that somebody that can look like a so-called white man, which in the scriptures is described as leprosy, which is without pigment, all right, and this is just an example of that. So let's play this clip.
Yeah, mommy said, go get your mommy.
Come and say.
Go and meet mommy. Oh yeah.
Come and say.
You know there's something inside, so you're not in a rush. See, you're the one.
You will not eat your own. They will give you something.
That's my own,
You'll
just hold
be
it.
holding it.
So as you can see here, you see that little clip right there? That's his brother. And that's how he came out. That's how he came out. Because you got a lot of individuals on the planet, all right, whenever you break down these scriptures to them and they don't understand, and we're going to go into it, how Esau, the so-called white man, this is similar to how he came out of the womb. But this is his brother, because you can see the curly hair on top of him. He just came out without any melanin. All right, he came out, he has leprosy. But that is his biological brother. Now Esau came out as fraternal twins. He wasn't identical, and his spirit was different from his brother. That's why it said this. Like we're gonna go into that, Lord willing. All right. But first, let's read this to understand through the spirit what the curse was and how it fell upon Esau, the so-called white man today. This is Genesis 4. And we're gonna read down. This is beginning at verse 3. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord YAHAWAH. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord YAHAWAH had respect unto Abel and to his offering. Why? Because he did it correctly. All right. He bought the firstlings of his flock because he was a keeper of the sheep. He actually did a proper sacrifice, which means he was taught by his family, by his father Adam, how to sacrifice unto the Lord YAHAWAH at the time. All right. And Cain, being that wicked one who despised instruction and order, brought the first fruits. Continuing on. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And YAHAWAH said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? Yeah, all right. Pretty much saying, why are you upset? Why are you mad? You were taught how to sacrifice to me. But he decided to do his own thing. He despises instruction. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, which is the transgression of the law, which shows the law was always there. It just wasn't written down on tablets yet. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. All right. So real quick, a quick precept to that, because Cain hated instruction. This is Psalms chapter 50 and verse 17. But unto the wicked power saith YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, what is thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. And so he hated the instruction of what he was supposed to do and how he was supposed to sacrifice, because it wasn't in him. The Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI created him since the beginning to be the wicked. All right. Now, verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, because Cain is now about to show you that he was the first murderer. And it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him. And the Lord YAHAWAH said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? All right. Just like the wicked one just like the wicked man, as he was supposed to say. All right. He responded that way. And that's how the Lord YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI created this man. All right. It's the same spirit that goes into Esau. And we're going to switch to that in just a moment. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground, because his spirit was back in the spirit world, complaining to the Lord about what he did to him. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. So everything of the earth rejected Cain, which is the same spirit as Esau. So the earth is not yielding its fruit underneath this man, as you can see today. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. All right. He's running from justice because the Lord is going to require him, because he was the first murderer and he's continued his blood shed. And Cain said unto YAHAWAH, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the earth, the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid. And I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. Why? Because he cursed him by removing his pigment from him. All right. Because everybody then at that time had melanin. Everybody had a pigment, a dark tint. And so that's why he said you're going to be a fugitive and a vagabond. And when everybody sees that's why he said this to the Lord YAHAWAH, that everybody's going to slay me when they look at me. Like, look at me. Because he completely removed it from him. And that's leprosy. This was the first pure leper. And YAHAWAH said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord YAHAWAH set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. So just to prove that mark, the mark of Cain is him not having any pigmentation. All right. And that's why nobody can touch him, because the Lord is the one that's going to judge this man, which came back in the form of Esau. So now let's go to Genesis 25. We're going to get, since we read a lot there, we're going to get straight to the point here. This is Genesis 25, beginning at verse 22. And the children struggled together within her, who? Rebekah. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord YAHAWAH. So she went to a prophet. And YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. So 2 different nations, 2 separate spirits, 2 different kind of people. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. All right. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. All right. These were fraternal twins, not identical. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, And they called his name Esau, YAHAWAH, meaning wasted away is he. All right. All right. And this shows to show who is the progenitor. He is the progenitor of the so-called white races today. As an example of this right here, this is similar to what he would have.
Don't get your mommy.
Salakia. This is similar to what he would have looked like. All right. But this one is different because he is actually an Israelite. He's actually a Jake. But not to cause confusion, this is what Esau would have potentially looked like when he came out. Red, but like red all over because his blood shows through his skin, which is a pure leper, which is actually a curse. And after that came his brother out and took and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, Yaquab. All right, and Isaac was 80 years old when she bare him. All right, so he was 60. So just to show that through the spirit, that this is an example. This is how Esau came out. That two separate nations, and then why? And you know it didn't describe Jacob here because Jacob looked like everybody else on the planet. It was Esau who came out looking like that. Okay, and this is the curse of Cain, the curse of leprosy that continued on, and this is the progenitor of these so-called white people today, bro. Just to show an example through the spirit. Now let's get this. No, actually, you know what? Let me get this really quick. We're showing about leprosy. I think is blonde in there. Actually, I think it's yellow. Salakia, brothers. Yeah. Leviticus 13, beginning at verse 29. So this is going to describe in the law if you see a case of leprosy. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, all right, so that means his skin starts to transform. And this is the example of what it would have transformed to for that little boy. And there be in it a yellow thin hair, which is blonde. All right, that shows that long blonde stringy hair is a curse. All right, it's a defect. Then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry skull, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. Okay, and so that's just to show an example that's what that is. That color, that tint is leprosy. All right, that's why when this happened to her, let's see. Let's go to it. Spelled it wrong. Spelling it all wrong. Slovakia, brothers. I'm spelling this all wrong. Hold on real quick. Not Leprous. Leprous. See, I know it's in there. I know it's in the scriptures. All right, Salakia, we're back. I had to go handle something, but I found what I was looking for through the spirit. All right, Numbers 12, and I was spelling it all wrong. So Salakia for that, brothers. Numbers 12. So this is when Miriam was talking against Moses, man. All right, murmuring And this is what the Lord did to her. And this is an example of that, of leprosy. Numbers 12 and 9. And the anger of Yahweh was kindled against them, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. So it was a curse to look like that in the ancient world. Of course, now they don't frown upon it. All right. But this is leprosy, a lack of pigmentation upon the skin. All right. And this is why the little boy has the little blonde hair, so on and so forth, at the top of his head. All right. But Esau is a pure leper, a clean leper, so to say. All right. But this is just to show an example of that. And this is why Miriam had to be shut off, because whenever this plague came upon you, you had to be shut out the camp 7 days. All right. Because you're unclean. So Esau is an unclean vessel. All right. And this is why he's the people of the Lord's curse. Let's get that really quick. And we'll end it off with that. This is Isaiah 34. And you know what? Let's we'll start at verse 2. For the indignation of the Lord Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, he hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountain shall be melted with their blood. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heaven shall be rolled together as a scroll, which is the nuclear mushroom cloud. And all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword, which is going to be those nuclear missiles, shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea, all right, the Greek way of saying Edom, which is the so-called white man today, and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The curse being they have that mark on them, which goes back to the mark of Cain. They lack melanin. They have leprosy, pure lepers. Now, also to end it off with this, that not all so-called white people go back to the Edomites. All right. You have so-called white people like this young man right here, this little boy, that are Israelites. All right. That can look like this, but their seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. Based on the seed line of their father and their spirit. It's all. I just wanted to prove that through the spirit and power of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. I'm going to close out. All praises, all honor, and all infinite glory to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors to the beloved apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect.